What's the biggest difference in how you walked onto the set of The Matrix for the first time or how you walked off the set of Resurrections for the last time?
Wow.
It's a
Excellent question.
Big question.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Mr. Reeves, Ms. Moss, this is seriously the absolute honor of a lifetime. I never thought I would get to be in this interview room, so seriously, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, man.
And sorry about the voice, but I wanted to power through this because this means a lot to me. So guys, I was wondering if you could compare your first day on the set of the first Matrix to your last day on the set of Resurrections. What's the biggest difference in how you walked onto the set of the Matrix for the first time or how you walked off the set of Resurrections for the last time?
Wow.
Do you remember your first day?
The first day was Thomas Anderson in the office being contacted by Morpheus and then seeing agents and then running through the office and then going to the where he finds that he's afraid of heights and he doesn't want to let go.
The phone drops.
The phone drops. But by the end of the movie, he can fly. He's not afraid of heights anymore. Which I guess is actually apropos for our experience. Yes. So in that last day, we can't really give away what happens on our last day. But I feel like we, maybe we wouldn't know how we'd feel, but we knew that it was the end after the third one, but here we are on the fourth.
Well, that's an interesting point.
It was
like
great.
Ms. Moss, what is the second this is the end like? Like, how does your last day on this film compare to your last day on Revolutions?
Oh, that's really easy. The last day of the third Matrix was my character's death. And so I really had this opportunity to really grieve, letting go of something that had meant so much to me. And I remember Lana and Lily crying, and I mean, we'd have to go outside. I mean, it was snotty crying, okay?
If it makes you feel better, I was doing the same thing in the theater, so I was right there with you.
It was really, I knew this was it. Like, I am saying goodbye to something that has meant so much to me, an experience that has meant so much to me, a character that's meant so much to me. And I had a full day of just weeping. So at the end of this one, the last day of this one, it was bittersweet. It felt so good to have done it and to have been with everyone. It didn't have quite, but it had some emotion for sure, but not quite in the way that it did years ago.
I get that. I understand that. As we wrap up, Mr. Reeves, I've always wanted to ask you about this day, and I've never gotten the chance to talk to you about it. But the day that you shot the bullet time sequence, you're in the green screen room, hundreds of cameras around you, you're falling back and the wires are holding you. To what degree on that day did you feel the weight and the significance of that moment in movie history? Was there any part of you that looked around and thought we are changing movies forever?
Yeah, I didn't feel the weight of the moment externally. I felt it internally that I wanted to realize the vision of Lana and Lily, the directors. I wanted to be able to do it and realize their vision, and I knew that their vision was extraordinary.
Do you remember the first time that you saw the finished product of that moment? It's almost 25 years later. I'm still going.
Yeah, so good.
Guys, I've got 10,000 more questions for you, but they're giving me the wrap. I've got to tell you, as a kid who, my dad took me to midnight screenings of these. It's the honor of a lifetime. I saved up money, and they let me. This is my first DVD I ever bought. They saved up money and let me. It's the old Snap case.
Oh my
Warner Brothers
gosh.
Snap case. But I got to tell you, this is the honor of a lifetime to be able to talk to you. So seriously, thank you so much for fitting me in.
Send it to me. I'll sign it. I'll send it back to you.
Done. I will. We'll talk to you, sir. All right. Take care. I'll have someone send it. I'll have someone get it to you.
Have your people. Talk to his people.
I'll talk to his people.
Okay.
I'll talk to his people. An honor, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you. Merry Christmas.
Cheers. That was awesome. Oh my God. Jake's awesome.
Gentlemen, how are you this morning?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I'm sorry, I've lost my voice, but I've been looking forward to this junket since this movie was announced, so I could not skip it. So seriously, thank you for putting up with me. I appreciate you.
You sound perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, thank you very much. Jonathan, I'm actually going to start with you. I was wondering if you could imagine sitting in a movie theater with Hugo Weaving and watching this film. And when it's over, lean over and ask him, what did you think about how I did this? What is the aspect of your performance you'd love to ask him about?
Wow. Excellent question.
Big question.
I'd love to, I would love to ask him less about my performance and more about his experience and his feeling and his memories. I spent so much time watching him and looking at clips of him. There's like a YouTube of him saying Mr. Anderson every time he says it that I watched repeatedly. It's just like it's like cuts of him saying Mr. Anderson. I want to talk to him about Lord of the Rings. I want to talk to him about his career. I would be more interested to know about him, and way too nervous to ask him about what he thought of my version of.
You should do this job. That's what I get to do all the time. It's really great.
Yeah, exactly. I would be you.
I couldn't be you. My boss would like you more than me, but your bosses wouldn't like me more than you. Neil, I've got to tell you, I've always been fascinated with the whole concept of red pill, blue pill. It's because it's so much bigger than the Matrix. It's such a great metaphor for those important choices in life. I'm curious, what was the biggest red pill, blue pill moment you had when making this movie?
Wow. So I was asked by Lana to fly to San Francisco to meet one-on-one. We had done a FaceTime conversation for half an hour, 45 minutes. It went really well. And then would you be willing to come to San Francisco and hang out a little bit, talk about stuff, and maybe look at a couple of the scenes? Because maybe we'll work around and play around with them. I said, great, of course, love to. On the plane right there, I had my big red pill moment of, wow, I don't know what are the expectations? Like, should I, because I was tired and it was a late night, I think it was a really late night flight for an early morning meeting. So I was like, okay, do I watch the other Matrix movies in succession right now so that I have that locked and loaded? Do I sleep because then I'm fresh and ready to go? Or do I memorize these scenes because it feels kind of like an audition? Like she wants to work with the scenes, but I have a feeling that if I'm just not prepared, that would be bad. So I really had to sort of weigh out what version of me I was going to be. And
Which did you choose?
I sort of did a little of all of it. I opted out of sleep. I got to the hotel room and I was pacing around trying to memorize because I thought, oh no, Neil, this is an audition. You're auditioning for this movie right now. And you have to pretend like it's not, and you have to pretend like you're just having a nice, analyzing conversation about life. But really, she's looking at you to see if she wants to hire you for this movie. It was like a lot of over-analyzing.
So you like broke up the pills and had like a little bit of each piece of the pill. Yeah.
I crushed them and snorted them both.
As we wrap up really quickly, one of the things I've always loved about The Matrix is this really interesting, divisible, clear line between the good guys and the bad guys. There's Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus, and then there's Smith, the agents, and the machines. I'm wondering which side of the line you're on impacts your experience on the film. Like, what's the biggest difference you think your experience on this film was versus what Keanu, Carrie-Anne, and Yahya experienced?
I mean, initially, I think like we had the gift of getting to come in, do some scenes, and then chill out and hang in Berlin. So like the heroes of the movie work every single day of the movie, and so we got to have fun, appear, and then disappear, and they were carrying the whole thing on their shoulders.
Truth.
To be fair, you guys did some pretty incredible stuff as well, which I can't ruin for people. But seriously, guys, I love both of you. You're phenomenal in this, and I truly, this is a great conversation. I appreciate you putting up with me.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day and a great Christmas.
Well. Cheers. Thanks.
Merry
to you too.
Christmas.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much, Jake. Thanks, Kyle. Good to talk to you, buddy.
And PH.
Guys, I have to tell you, I'm so beyond it. I never thought I'd be doing a Matrix junket, so this is like the greatest day ever. So seriously, thank you so much for fitting me into your schedule. I appreciate it.
No doubt, Jake.
And I'm so sorry. I lost my voice, but I didn't want to skip out on this. So I appreciate you. I'm sorry you have to put up with this. Yeah. I was wondering if we could start with you. I was wondering if you could imagine sitting in a movie theater with Lawrence Fishburne and watching this film. And when it's over, leaning over and asking him, what did you think about how I did this? What is the
Oh,
aspect
I wouldn't.
of the performance?
I wouldn't ask
No?
that. I wouldn't ask that question. I've never asked anybody about what they felt about how I did.
Never.
That's not my business. But I think it'd be cool to sit there and to watch a film with him and to, I don't know if he put butter on his popcorn or hot jalapenos or salt or whatnot, but share popcorn and
Jalapenos on the popcorn?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You got to
Yeah,
try it
I've done
sometime.
it.
There we go.
I've never heard
There
of
you
that.
go. But I think it'd be pretty. I think it'd be pretty cool to see what moments he would laugh at and lean forward and things like that.
And he'd probably be like, "Stop watching me. I'm trying to watch the film."
Right.
You'd creep him out.
Right.
Like, stop taking notes.
I just gotta imagine that now. So I gotta capture Lawrence Fishburne, and then take him to a theater and force him to sit next to me in a theater. Just the two of us, IMAX. And
I was just about to ask if I could sit like 4 rows back and just sit there and just like watch you guys the whole time.
Three's a crowd, man. You come on, man.
I'll be pretty far back. It's fine. It's fine. And then occasionally you'll hear me whisper like, "Did you guys see that?" That was
right.
I gotta ask. So, as a fan of The Matrix, I just 5 minutes ago got to talk with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, and I just asked them Matrix questions, and it was, as a fan, it blew my mind. But I'm curious, as actors, how beneficial that is for you in your process. Like, how valuable their history with the series is for your performance. Like, do you allow yourself to sit down and I guess just kind of have a geek out session with them about the past films in order to sort of help you with your characters?
I mean, I spoke to Carrie-Anne a lot, but we had an existing relationship going into it. So I asked her a lot about Lana and really tried to understand that process and how much it had changed from the original. But I tried not to geek out too much. I definitely tried not to geek out with Keanu. I don't think he'd like.
Why not?
He doesn't like talking about himself or his work that much. I don't know.
Also, some of those themes, some of the larger themes of The Matrix, you can't act those themes. But that's the tempting thing about being a part of something like this, because you do want to talk about it and you do want to get to the bottom of what The Matrix is all about and really understand it. But sometimes that feeds you as a fan, but at the end of the day, that doesn't feed you as an actor. Sometimes it
throws you.
Right, it can really send you for a loop. And as an actor, it's your job to do something different and not to really understand or not to involve yourself in it from the perspective of a fan.
I think you'd have to leave that out of the door. But I spoke to Jada a lot about, because I had very little time to interact with Carrie-Anne, but all three of them, having reprised their roles and coming back into this movie, were just so kind and encouraging. And I think that feels really good when you're going into something and you have people who have such iconic history with it changed their lives when it first came out as well, and you kind of feel the weight of that. And they set the expectations and the bar so high and the tone so high that you have to walk in every day, pulling up your boots and saying, all right, I need to strive for excellence, because that's what they do. And just have to focus on that bit.
Well, guys, I feel the weight of doing these interviews. I never thought in my life, as a kid, my dad used to take me to the midnight. This is the first DVD I ever bought, the old snap case. So seriously, the fact that I get to talk to you guys is beyond an honor. And I truly appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jake.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I appreciate it.
Bye.
Have a great day, guys.
Peace.
Thanks so much, Jake. We appreciate it.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.